99% of people's dreams are never going to come true. This is because most people have opted to take the comfort of the hamster wheel instead of becoming the architect of their own life. An architect gets to design the dimensions, the height, the width, everything when it comes to building something. And a lot of people are not living their lives as the architect, they're living their lives as the program. The program acting out the pre-written script that was given to them at a very young age by the school, teacher, parents, grandparents, friends, etc. Your environment pretty much has molded your mind. So most people think they're actually living the life that they want, but they're living the life that was given to them. And that is pretty damn scary, if I could say so myself. I can attest to this being true because that was me once upon a time. I'm talking about unbelievably lost. Not even knowing exactly where I was heading, why I was going that way, how I got that way. I just kind of woke up and realized like, damn, I'm not doing anything that I want to do. And it typically hits us all around the same time, right? Mid to late 20s, you're like, okay, I'm older now. I got the job. I started going to school till I realized that shit ain't it either. Still wanted to blend in some pretty decent jobs along the way. 55K and above, your average American starting out in the workforce. Started working my way up the ladder, getting into some different circles with people who started making a little bit more kind of money. Finally landed a desk job and realized, damn, I still ain't where I want to be. And in hindsight, I look back and I noticed everything that I did was what I was told. Contrary to my own thoughts, I was thinking, okay, I'm just doing what most people do. I'm just running the average script that most people have been given, and it seems to work. It seems to have worked for most people at least, but it didn't. And I think you can also agree that in our new social media-driven economy, technology-driven economy, a lot of shit is just not the same from when our parents were younger. It doesn't work the same way. We live in a truly value-based society. It's always been that way, but now every market you can ever think of is saturated. Social media is becoming full of creators. YouTube is bringing in 10,000 new YouTube creators a month. It's getting crazy now. It's not anything really new, but people are beginning to wake up and see that the script that they've been given was just never really where it was at to begin with. The industrial age is over. And that's still what the 99% of people are still chasing. It's the old way of life. It's the old way of living. Wake up, brush your teeth, brew your coffee, walk your dog, get ready for 8 to 10 hours of unmeaningful work. Work that, by the way, you didn't decide. It was just something that you thought was best because of what was told to you. Get there, do what you got to do, come home, rinse and repeat. It's really the same thing. It's every single day. And if you get stuck in these patterns long enough, it becomes cemented. It becomes a part of who you are. And the cycle becomes damn near impossible to break. But this is what most people are doing. So if you plan on getting ahead, I think it will be pretty incumbent on your end to do what the 99% of people aren't doing. I recognize 4 intentional drivers that push the 1% out of the 99%. They live an entirely different kind of life. They have an entirely different kind of mind. And it's because of that mind and the way they move, behave, and the things that they do overall in their day that separates them from the vast majority of people. Number 1 is clarity. They know what they want. They know the beginning, they know the end, and they connect the dots everywhere in between to make sure that from where they started to where they want to be happens. Everybody has desires. Everybody wants things. Everybody wants to go somewhere. Everybody wants to be somebody. But what separates most people is the clarity behind what they want, where they want to go, how they want to get there, and just what they plan on doing to make sure it all happens. Clarity is the Windex to the dirty window. Clarity is the bleach to the dirty toilet. Clarity is you knowing what you want from what you don't want. And it's this essential ingredient, it's this essential element that most people have no understanding of how to harness and how to control to create the reality that they want for themselves. It's not an accident. Literally, everything you do must be designed. Like I said, just like an architect. Imagine you step into a building, you ride the elevator all the way up to the 12th floor. You start walking around, you notice there's parts of the floor that's a little bit more shakier than the next. You just so happen to be meeting with the architect of the building that day. Right before you go shake his hand, your right foot falls to the damn floor. As he helps you up, you're like livid. You're like, what the hell? Why did you make a building like this? You didn't see this one coming? And his response is, well, I kind of thought I had it all figured out. It seemed good to me. I didn't really study for it. I've been doing it for roughly about 5 years. It made sense to me when I drew it up. That's roughly how most people are living their life. They wake up and they just kind of get to it. It's no real major plays. It's no real roadmap being built in between. They're kind of just winging it. And it's that mindset of just winging it that makes people end up in a destination that they never wanted to be to begin with. And that shit is dangerous. Because you can wind up living a truly regretful life, thinking all along you were headed in a place that you wanted to be, but instead you ended up being in a place where someone else wanted you to be because you didn't map it all out. Essentially, most people's foots, their legs, they're falling through the floor every single day and they're just okay with it. So it's that sense of clarity that brings about the inner peace on your journey because you know where you're headed. Once you get clear on where you want to go and what you want, then you start to put the direction into place. Who wants to get on the highway and not know where the hell they're going? I mean, that has to be like the craziest sounding shit ever. But again, that's how 99% of people are living their life. They get in the car and they just go. And they hope somehow they're just going to end up in Alice in Wonderland with Triscuits and tea and biscuits and candy. It's like, how the hell how? In what way? In what world? How does that just happen? It doesn't. I remember in my early 20s, I went through like hella shit. Like hella shit. And it's cool. I'll get a little transparent for a moment. I had no money. I literally was sleeping in a car with my family at the moment because I'm thinking in my mind, somehow, some way, money is just going to fall into my fucking lap. That might sound like some crazy weird stuff, but without having that sense of direction, I was hallucinating. Like in a different mindset that I didn't even know existed in the world. Like it's a different kind of crazy to think that somehow if you don't put together the pieces yourself, somehow they're still just going to fall into place. And guess what? It didn't. So I had time over the course of a whole summer with no money, sitting in the heat, barely any food, to think over every stupid ass decision I had made. And then it struck me. I had no direction. I had no wisdom. I had no knowledge on who I was, where I wanted to go, and how I planned on getting there. And that really woke me up. That was like, I think the biggest wake up of my life, realizing that my entire life, all the way up until that time, was me going in a direction that I thought was actually best, not realizing that the utility of a person all boils down to the value that they're able to produce. I'm extraordinarily value driven at this point, being a husband, being a father, being a business owner, being a speaker, being a writer, being all these things, because I understand the nature of the exchange of value. And in my early 20s, I did not know that. I had no understanding of what it meant to be a value individual that knew where they wanted to go, where I realized it all boils down to direction. You can have all the skills, you can have all the knowledge, you can speak eloquently and articulately, but if you don't know where you want to go and how you plan on getting there, nothing changes. You will not reach it, and you'll keep walking around in circles your whole life. It's after you touch rock bottom. It's after you touch the lowest depths of, I guess, this earthly kind of hell that you can feel. You get clear on what you want. You get clear on where you want to go. You're gaining some direction. You can start to develop passion, because now that you know what you want, you have the directions, the blueprint, the GPS, and you're figuring out how to get there. It's the passion that's going to make sure you walk through them doors. Passion is what keeps us alive. It's essentially the icing on the cake. It's the thing that everybody needs in those low times, in those low moments where you ultimately don't feel like continuing on the path that you know you should be going on. But it's the fire in you that just won't go out. Despite of the lack of support, despite of people not understanding the decisions, the direction you're headed in, it's the green light that the 1% continually mash the gas going through when everyone's hitting the brakes, when everyone's stopping, when the 99% are just conking out. That's what the 1% use to keep going. That's what powers them. That's the essential biggest driver that continues people on that path to actually realizing their dreams, realizing their goals. And it's through that passion that pushes you into your purpose. And that purpose is the original intention behind everything that you're doing. It's the reason. It's the ultimate driver. It's the thing about you that makes up your core. It's like, it's everything. It's the thing that takes you from sitting here in the car, hot as fuck, not knowing how you're going to make a dime, how you're going to get out, to creating a business where you're impacting thousands of people's lives and helping to build brands and meeting with highly influential, important people that now your voice can be heard. Like it literally takes you from here to there. And some would argue that you got to have a purpose before it all, but I've now realized that you really get to create your own purpose. It's something that you find within yourself. As a believer, I realized that it's God alone, that has a purpose for all things, but he lets you choose. You wake up every day and you make decisions. You get to be the creator, the architect of your own life. It's your decision making. As you begin walking in your purpose, the most important thing now is stacking your small wins. If you're going to overcome the 99%, if you're going to get out of that big bubble that everybody's in, You have to start doing the little things and doing them excellent every single day. Stop taking the elevator, get on the stairs. Stop avoiding the Stairmaster. Put in 5 to 10 minutes a week. I mean, it's those little things and stuff like that. That's what 99% of people aren't doing. Some people tell themselves when they get into the gym, it's guaranteed I got to be doing at least 2.5, 3 hours. What you're doing is you're comparing yourself and where you are on your journey to someone else who started roughly 5 to 10 years ago, who's now built up enough momentum to not stop. And when you're just starting out, the most important thing is stacking your wins. It's taking the small things and the small accomplishments and what would seem to be the most insignificant parts of your day and maximizing. Instead of starting out for an hour, why don't you just do 17 minutes for 7 days? Literally going to the gym, putting in 17 minutes, and at the 17-minute line, leave. It's through seeking the intentional discomfort in your day, making yourself uncomfortable on purpose so you can get used to life's challenges. I mean, you would be surprised as to how many adults still to this day have not realized that discomfort is normal. Discomfort should be a part of your day because that's the only thing that forces people to grow. You name anything placed in an uncomfortable environment that reaches its potential. Nothing. So getting used to being uncomfortable is going to put you ahead of like literally 100% of people, because 99.9 are looking for the things that constantly make them feel good. Most people are cheap dopamine junkies. It's like you're looking for the hit anywhere you can get it. Your mind is constantly looking for a way to reward you. But the things that you're finding joy in, the things that you're getting your hit from, are not conducive to growth. The average person is on social media to consume and not to create, not to produce a single thing for the next person. And this is probably the craziest mind to have, because understanding that true value comes from being able to create value for other people, it changes everything. Most people are just slave to cheap dopamine. But what the 1% obsess over is being a slave to other people's problems. That's how you get free. It's realizing that you're not at the center of the universe, and that what you have to do in order to get out is learning how to get really good at solving other people's problems. Stop obsessing over your own problems. Your problems won't pay you. Your problems won't listen to you. Your problems are personal. Your problems are your problems. Start obsessing over fixing other people's problems, and you have a business that could do away with most of your problems forever. In today's world, we've all been conditioned to be the consumer. Consumers don't seek discomfort because they're always looking for a way to be comforted. Another way to get out of the 99% bubble is to become resilient to pain. Pain is a major constant in life. And again, that's just something most people cannot adapt to. We enjoy feeling good. We enjoy eating good. Comfort is what we're always going for. Ultimately, the jobs we seek, the money we make, the mates that we get with, we're looking for a sense of ease. Life itself has its own problems, it has its own battles, but we're constantly looking for a way to get out of it. But developing that resiliency to these problems and understanding that pain being a constant is, that's just what life is going to be about. You put yourself ahead of everybody else who is always in every sense trying to avoid it. Don't avoid it, adapt to it. Pain breeds growth. You have to go through it. Whatever the situation is, whatever the circumstance is, on the other side of it essentially is what you want. You can't create a new result constantly indulging in comfort and doing things that just don't work. And because our minds are built in a form of like an artifact, it's constantly storing memories, experiences, and things that we feel that made us feel good. Our minds are always going to replay and go back to what made us feel good. You're going to seek the dopamine from the thing that made you feel good, from the comfort that it brought you. But this is how most people fail. They have no clarity. They have no direction. There's no true passion. There's no true purpose behind their work. They don't know what they want. Get serious about what you want. Train like an assassin. Study like Einstein. Create like Picasso. Think like a chess player. Success doesn't just happen. It's a predetermined result from consistent inputs that led to a guaranteed output. Your life will go where your mind leads. So my friends, your brain is the literal steering wheel to where you want to be in life. And if you're not constantly feeding it, if you're not nurturing it, if you're not making it of the highest priority to develop it, then you will end up in a place you do not want to be. Either wind up a cheap dopamine user for the rest of your life, a digital fentanyl addict, constantly seeking the next like, subscribe, or comment from whatever on social media, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and just overall seeking external praise. And constantly looking to compensate for a life that you didn't create on your own because you didn't want to develop yourself into the architect that you are. Your mind is the key to the life you want. It's the mental pencil able to draw what you desire to physically become, do, or have. If you can remain undistracted, laser focused, growth oriented, and relentless, the mental barriers will be removed. And then you become free to curate a reality you've chosen for yourself. So again, family, the 4 major drivers is going to essentially put you on the path to where you want to be. Clarity, having that sense of direction, knowing what you want, how you plan on getting it, and how you plan on getting there is what's going to change a lot of things for you. Getting you out of the 99% bubble that eventually will burst. Having that sense of direction, understanding the roadmaps, the detours, and being okay with everything in between, from the discomfort and the pain that you're going to feel along the journey of getting there. That's going to help you out a whole lot. And developing that sense of passion and purpose behind your work. Gravitating to a meaningful work is everything. It's going to set the foundation for what you want. As a writer, as a speaker, as a content creator, it doesn't matter. Get passionate about it. Wrap your mind around a work that consumes you, that pulls you in. I mean, every moment of the day, you can't find yourself getting away from this thing because this is what makes life meaningful. And it's always that sense of meaning that we're seeking out of life. When we don't have that sense of meaning, life seems meaningless. Stack your wins, pay attention to everything that you already love to do, and for the few things, whatever, if it's even a lot of things that you're already doing right, pay attention to them, refine them, get better at them, stack them, build your wins, build your portfolio of things that you're doing right so you can build momentum going into the next level. Seek the discomfort. Find ways to constantly keep yourself in a constant state of discomfort so you can begin to level up. Most people hate discomfort. Again, it's just what we don't like it. Physically, our bodies don't like doing things that it just doesn't like to do. But if you're going to grow, get used to being uncomfortable. Become resilient to the pain that comes with being uncomfortable, and you'll be all right. Develop a growth-oriented mind. Read books. Listen to podcasts. Divulge into activities, thoughts, minds of philosophers, spiritual gurus, entrepreneurs, people who have accomplished things that you're aiming for, things that you want to live in, things that you want to live for, things that you want to give your time and attention to. Become that person. Dive into their work and see how they started. And refrain from the 99% behavior. As a creator, which is what you are, stay away from the digital fentanyl. Stop seeking the validation. Stop seeking the likes. Stop seeking the comments. This journey is long. And what you're not going to get along the way, especially as you're climbing the mountaintop, it's a whole lot of people who love what you're doing. Why? Because most people don't know you. Most people don't believe in you. And furthermore, most people just don't have a reason to. You haven't proven yourself enough to be able to state that you're the one that people are looking for. Harsh truth. Nobody cares about what you say or do until you've proven yourself. Prerequisites for authority. Skin in the game, stack skills, social proof, results. This is not you. The good news is it can be. Evolve. Keep evolving. Keep growing. Keep your mind in a constant state of evolution. Don't allow your circumstances or whatever your current trials or tribulations are in the moment to overcome you. Stay on the upward trend. Keep moving up. Refrain from the cheap dopamine and things that don't cause growth. And yeah, you'll be ahead of 99% of people. It's really not a whole lot to this. It's just more so execution. Doing the things you know you have to do so that you can get ahead. And consequently, that's what 99% of people aren't doing, is the things that they know they should be in order to get ahead. I truly hope you enjoyed this video. If it was of any value to you, go ahead, click like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I put out a lot of videos like this behind self-development, motivation, entrepreneurship, business, and just overall personal development of the mind, body, and soul. I know there's a lot of people out there who feel very stuck and stagnant in a place where they honestly know there's things that they could be doing better but just aren't. So that's what these videos are for, help you to develop your mind, body, soul, business. I'm also going to attach some free resources. The Create Your Reality workbook I made, huge. If you're going to be able to get out of the 99% bubble, you have to live the life of the 1%. And it's a journey. It takes a little bit, but it's fine. It's about building behaviors, building disciplines, breaking patterns, and destroying old cycles that just aren't working, and realizing you are the creator, architect, and builder of your own reality. I'm also attached the 10 quick tips, free PDFs. So it's something else to stack on top of Create Your Own Reality. It just goes into the mind, how to break habits, cycles, behaviors, just things that just overall aren't working, and how to build a new mind, how to build new behaviors and new patterns that's conducive to the life that you want, right? Because being a part of 99%, that's just not working. But that's all I got, folks. Hope this video again was of value to you. If it was, click like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.